staff retention, higher morale among staff, and improved services. For a fire district our size, we are one of the premier volunteer fire districts in our state, if not the entire country. We ask for your support in our efforts to resolve the issue temporarily to help maintain our status as premier fire district in our state, something we should be proud of. They asked the council because they come to myself and Andy both, and we both told them no. Because since '92, they know they need space. And if they do this, it's just going to be a temporary thing that I think if you allow this to happen, 2 months later, they're going to come and ask you to get more. And that's why my stance has been, no, they have space over there. They have a couch, 2 recliners, a bunk bed now, and this Murphy bed. Well, I think it should be up to them to utilize their space they have, and then come back if necessary. But ultimately, the decision is they need to find space, because this will just encroach and get worse. Because if you put it over here, like I said, in 2 months I can foresee them come and say, can we put a sheet around it? A couple months later, 6 months later, I can foresee them come and say, can we put temporary walls around this to make it a permanent place that will cut out of this community room? And this community room was built for the community, not the fire department or the fire district. So that has been our stance. So they basically, the fire board in turn has circumvented us and sent this to want the council to make a decision. But it is my recommendation that the council votes no, not to allow this to happen.
Jason, may I speak on this? You and Andy or Murphy did not attend the fire board meeting when it was being discussed. At least you could have told Susan Spain, so she could have at least been up there and listened. You're charging them over $18,000 a year rent. The roof is still leaking, we haven't taken care of that. We have to make things work. Just because you don't want it to work now, doesn't mean that we should just blindly follow your lead. We should at least attend the meeting to discuss it with them in an intelligent, adult manner.
Okay, well, let me continue on that. I was a member of that department for 17, 18 years, and up until I become mayor, the fire board's decision was it was okay for the fire guys that work full-time to sleep in a recliner. So it was under me sitting here and finally sitting on the board that they got a bed to sleep in. So
we should just be all thankful to you, but you're not willing
no,
to
but
make
I bet the
things
staff
work.
is thankful they get to sleep
You're
on a
not
bed.
willing to work on a solution with them with the rent you're charging them.
No. If they want to pay that money, let them pay that rent and put it into a loan or a bond to sell, to build their own place they need. It's been discussed since 1992 in this village. This is just not something I'm sitting here and making up. This has been a problem up here since 1992. It's been in the comp plan. It's went a full circle 3 or 4 different times about a building. The village donated them land to build it on. The board spent money, tax dollars money, to do bore samples and blueprints to build a building, and then they walked away and didn't want to finish
There
any of
wasn't
it.
any money to build a building with.
That's okay. You can ask. You can't just force people to do whatever they want. That's why my stance is no on the Murphy bed in here, because if it becomes that, it'll just become something else. And it's up to council.
I have a vote that we put it to vote, and I'd like to pass it, so, for a yes vote. Pass it.
Pat Bullock has a motion to allow the fire district to put the Murphy bed in the community room. Do I have a second? no second, the motion dies on the table. Next, Administrator.
Real quick, just some things for information. Just want to update council that Village Crews have completed the crack sealing on Lincoln Place Street and also the multi-use path and out the park. This is our third year of crack sealing our streets. Pretty pleased with what the guys got done. They put down quite a bit of material. Next thing we have, we'll be trying to schedule hydrant flushing for September 16th, 17th, and 18th. Just like to let the paper know that those will be the days. Also, let the citizens know they may experience some lower pressures, some discolorations, and things like that.
I have a question on that, Andy. My hydrant up by us hasn't been flushed. Do you have a service record on that, or are you putting it?
Tyler should have something on that.
How would I get a hold of that information?
I'll check with Tyler, see if he's got something on it.
Okay, it's that one right there on the window, I think. Is it one
What's
of-
the Longberry?
Yeah, in front of Longberry.
But, does Mr. DeLong have a fire hydrant?
Mm-mm.
It's on the other side, it's across it.
Around the corner.
One more thing we're gonna add that's not on the agenda, the Champaign County Historical Society in Urbana, Ohio is having Oktoberfest on October 6th, 2013, from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Come celebrate the fall at the museum, and it's located at 809 East Lawn Avenue in Urbana. They're gonna have an admission of $2, and children under 10 are free with an adult. We'll actually go ahead and post this outside, so anybody that wants to get any more information can do so.
Next is monthly community policing report. Deputy Dixon.
Good evening, citizens. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to read the village report that we prepare every month. And I also wanted to just make note of a few notable incidents that have taken place that that we are proud to say that we have resolved. So first, we had 6 traffic citations issued here in the village. There were 7 of those. Sorry. 7 additional ones were warnings. We took 12 incident reports. We assisted 22 citizens. We made 5 arrests. We attempted to serve 9 papers. There were 11 follow-ups. We had 0 open doors this month. We had 2 contacts with juveniles. We performed 2 civic activities, and there were 0 accidents. Were there any questions about the report itself?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How many tickets have we written using the window tip meter?
I can't say for sure. We're giving a grace period at this time when a new state law passes for traffic. For example, most recently the texting, driving and texting. I believe that went into effect January of 2013. They gave a 6-month grace period on that. We are stopping for window tint, and that's one of the things that I would like to discuss. No tickets at this time have been written, to my knowledge. I don't believe that the Alliance has written any. Like I said, it was our agreement that we're going to give some sort of a grace period for that time. Any other questions? A few things that I would like to hit on. A lot of people, citizens, you guys have probably seen the ballpark. There's been a lot of graffiti over there. There was one incident that took place. It's my understanding that North Lewisburg, Park and Road Maintenance, first off, we did find out who was in charge of vandalizing the ballpark. They were apprehended, and they were brought in for mayor's court. It was the Magistrate Weithman. He did order them to do, I believe it was 40 hours of community service to clean up the ballpark that they did vandalize in a 2-week period. I'm proud to say that one of those individuals came in for a few days of work and decided he didn't want to do it anymore, so he was arrested. He is currently in Tri-County Jail. He's serving a 30-day term for not fulfilling his end of the bargain. The second individual, it's my understanding that he skipped out on the work as well, never did 1 day of work, but there is currently a warrant out for his arrest, and we are actively searching him. We're searching for him, so if we do find him, unfortunately, he won't be cleaning up the ballpark, he'll be spending time in jail. A lot of people have probably seen myself, maybe Deputy Lyons. More often than not, I'm sitting up at the library. I see a lot of people walk by, a lot of people ask me what I'm doing there. I would like to say that and it's because of you guys, because of the citizens of this village, that we were able to get the tip on this. People talk. It got back to a particular individual who passed it along to me. There was an individual who was sitting at the library, at the picnic table right there, accessing their Wi-Fi to look at and view pornography. It is because of the tips of the citizens that we were able to cease that. The Wi-Fi has been currently locked during non-business hours. Members of the library can still proceed to use that service during business hours, but at this point, there's absolutely no reason for anybody to be using that service when the library is closed, so the Wi-Fi is now locked. Reference your question about the tent meter. I would like to also state that a traffic stop was recently made here in North Lewisburg, and the subject was actually stopped for window tint. Marijuana, a drug paraphernalia device, actually 3 drug paraphernalia devices were removed from the vehicle due to dark window tint. That person is currently being, there's a report that was generated. That person is currently looking at going to court and possibly doing some time in jail. So we have been very active, and I just wanted to make note of a few notable things. If anybody ever has any questions, comments, concerns, tips, we appreciate all of that. It's because of you guys that we get to fulfill what needs to be done in the village. I mean, we can only look for so much. We can only find so much. I can give every single person in here one of my cards. You can call me. Never have to leave your name. Hey, this is going on. Over on Thomas Street. This is going on over on Maple Street. Call us. Let us know what's going on in your neighborhood, so that way we can have a quick response time, get over there and get it taken care of. Are there any questions? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
The next thing you see in your packet is actually a resolution for the Ohio Department of Transportation. Basically, it's allowing myself to go ahead and sign for an easement for ODOT for the construction of an ADA compliant ramp at the corner of the building here. Basically what they're looking for is actually a temporary easement that's going to be 4 foot by 4 foot by 10 foot across, which is a triangular piece up in the grass area of the building. ODOT, when they do these things, they actually come out, they survey it, they have an appraiser come out, and we were actually offered $300 for that temporary easement. Talking with the representative, I told him we would probably go ahead and donate the easement to the Department of Transportation. We appreciate the fact they're helping us out with the ADA compliant ramps along with the 245 Street project. So basically what you see is a copy of the resolution allowing me to do so, and the next thing you'll see in your packet is actually a copy of the donation letter. So I'd like to get a motion to move forward and approve the resolution 9313.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, Beach,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Spain,
Yes.
Warner.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. All right, next in your packet's Resolution 9313A, accepting the amounts and rates determined by the Budget Committee and authorizing the necessary tax levies for certifying them for the county auditor. This is a thing we do every year for the inside millage, and it basically just says, whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village Council of the Village of North Lewisburg, Champaign County, Ohio, in accordance with the provisions of the law, has previously adopted a tax budget for the next succeeding fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2014, and whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of North Lewisburg, Champaign County, Ohio, certified its actions thereon to this board together with an estimate by the county auditor, the rate of each tax necessary to be levied by this board, and what part thereof is without, and what part within the 10 mil limitation, tax limitation. Therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of North Lewisburg, Champaign County, Ohio, that the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and its certification be and the same are hereby accepted, and be it further resolved that there be and is hereby levied on the tax duplicate of said township to the rate of each tax necessary to be levied within and without the 10 mil limitation as follows. It's the 1.2 inside millage we collect from the state that is still on the books, and the amount in the general fund is $22,100. It's actually down a little bit from last year, but we were expecting that, so. And I just need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Warner,
Yes.
Spain,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
and Dees. Yes.
Okay. Motion carries 6-0. Nothing under hearing of citizens. Next will be general discussion.
I have a quick question here. How are we doing on the roof with the wastewater plant?
We haven't done anything with it
Any reason why we're not moving forward with
yet.
it?
Because the damage was actually pretty minimal, there were just some tabs missing, nothing's leaking, there's no problem with it right now. So we get through summertime and a little later in the fall, we'll look at actually making a repair.
What did the insurance pay off on it then?
You got a copy of that, the other one, you'll take a copy of that.
Just that if they paid off a payment, then we would have expected to do some work back into the building.
Correct.
We seem to have a roof problem, so we want to conquer that.
Any other questions or, yes?
We thank the United Methodist Church for doing their stuff down at the ballpark, which is greatly appreciated. It has made a big difference. If anybody hasn't seen it down there, Bob Davis has worked pretty effortlessly down there with them to help get it done. Also, I think a great recognition could be Mr. Pack. If you folks haven't noticed, the ball diamonds down there has changed tremendously in the last 2 months, month and a half, for his effort down there. I think he deserves a well thank you.
He has done a lot. Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, I have one. I'm just curious of why a member of the council is suing the village of North Lewisburg and how we're paying for that.
Well, the council member's here, she can answer why.
I'll speak to it. I asked them for invoices and purchase orders for a certain year so I could go over and learn how to do it. And I asked them at the beginning of every meeting to just turn around and walk away. And after 9 months, got tired of asking for it. They didn't have to pay a lawyer any lawyer fees if they just made the copies, because I was paying for the copies. But they're the ones that have needed to go to a lawyer and involve depositions and such. If you'd like a copy of the lawsuit, I do have the number for you, and I will get that to you.
And to answer your question about the cost, it's cost taxpayers $16,000 roughly in attorney fees.
How much?
$16,000.
Why would you fight it in the first place instead of just make the copies like I asked?
If you contact lawyers and you start lawyering up,
I did not. I sent the
you
letter
start
to
a
you folks
lawyering
in the
up.
letter.
You start a lawyering up. The village has a right to protect itself.
Fine, but why didn't you just do what we requested? There was no extra cost involved.
You've been getting the information for 4 years. It's not our fault you can't put it
I
together.
never had copies of the invoices
You
or
got
purchase
the
orders.
information. I can't help if you
After a
can't put it
long wait
together.
and a
You
lawyer
got the
being involved.
information. You
Why
got
does the village
information.
have to pay for it though? She got the lawyer, why didn't she pay for the lawyer?
That's where the case is at right now, is whether we pay for her lawyer too.
I got my lawyer from John Adams because it was a public record request that they were not fulfilling and ignoring.
And if she loses, is she gonna pay your lawyer?
Right, I counter steal.
Yeah.
I think you need to.
I think that would be the point.
Because we are asked to sign off on invoices and purchase orders that aren't shown to us, we just have a check registry. They don't discuss the budget with us. There's no one that has any.
Someone tried to explain to you the budget 3 years ago. Was
That
the one
meeting
where
was
she started
absolutely no
knitting? Was that the
questions
one where the
asked.
knitting was going on?
Absolutely no
So
questions.
that's what goes on.
Do
And
most
nothing
people
was
know
ever-
what's going on at the council anyway?
Excuse me,
Hold
I
on.
get to say my end of it.
We don't hear your
The meeting
end.
that you're talking about.
Wasn't that nice? I like your unbridled spirit.
We don't care care what you.
If anybody would like a copy of the lawsuit, I would provide that for you, and you can also see the depositions. It'll speak for itself.
What I would like to impose on this is, she was offered everything. She has everything except the invoices.
Well,
Okay?
now I
And
go
then-
against her.
Okay, these invoices was 4,500 copies and 38 and a half hours of Diane's time. What we gave her was a cash journal that said every warrant number, every PO number, a description of every invoice, the date it was written, and the amount it was written. And she was specifically told, if you have any question on any invoice, let us know, and
And
we
I
will
told
pull that
Diane,
invoice.
before she started to put things away, she says, we're gonna put these in storage. I said, we'll just start making the copies, I'll pay for it. I'm not gonna be able to yell louder than Jason at a meeting. I'm not gonna do it in public opinion. If you guys wanna read the lawsuit and see the facts, please, I'll get you the information. It's available to anybody that wants to look at it.
But is it your job to save the town money?
I don't know where the money's going. 2 months ago, we bought a $10,000 lawnmower, never discussed with us, not even told at the meeting that we bought it. We just bought it. I saw the invoice, I asked about it. I've never known, I'm speaking, I'm not finished quite yet. I'd never know about the tent meter if I didn't see the invoice and ask, what are we doing with the tent meter? Sheriff's Department doesn't even know one, but we do.
The administrator's job, position. what
He
is
is
position?
supposed to at least
Now, see,
inform us.
here's the thing, you want to interrupt everybody else, but you don't want anyone else to talk,
Yes.
okay? The
Burner at the
administrator,
stake.
is it 50,000 or 25,000, you know what I'm saying? He's allowed making that decision, he's trusted in that position, he's the one full-time employee we have that works in the village, and it's trusted that he makes the right decisions. I've never seen any reason not to trust the decisions.
Are
You
you
know?
finished? And
I'd
I would
like to hear
like
from some people out here.
questions.
Do
Well, I'm
any of
talking
your
now.
other council members ask for the same things that she's asking for?
They voted not to get any paperwork at all.
Well, don't you trust them? They're running your
It's
town.
not my job to trust. If I'm signing a document about financial business, I better know what it means. And I better know where the money's going. We have a lot of money in the village.
Do you see the lawnmower, or do you see,
I'm not allowed, I don't go on city property. Jason has threatened to have me thrown out of the town building, sued and arrested.
you walk up and
someone.
down the streets, you can see what the lawnmower is doing.
Ma'am, they didn't tell us, they just bought it.
Again,
I'd like-
you
Well,
are
I'm doing all
saying-
that.
Again,
Well, the city council must
let me kind of address the lawnmower. The one we had actually blew up. It was a failure, a mechanical failure with the mower. We've had that thing since I think 2006, if I remember correctly.
2005.
2005. Again, it happened in the middle of summer. Our plans would have been to look at it, towards winter or spring of that year. Mechanical failure, it was blown up. The mower we did purchase with us through the state cooperative purchasing program, where we can buy equipment at the same price that the state of Ohio does. They do all the negotiating. We actually can buy it for cheaper than what the dealer is actually shipping in. So therefore, the replacement was purchased. It wasn't $10,000, it was around $7,000, which is what a replacement would cost if we were to replace the tank. So again, that decision was mine, it was mine totally. It was a need for the village, it was a need that you could see had to be done. So that's what happened with the lawnmower. And the reason administrators trusted with that decision is we meet once a month. Do you want,
All
we
you
needed
want
the
to
lawnmower.
wait the whole month and get one.
Right, that's the whole,
But
that's,
Andy should have informed
Well,
us that
again-
we purchased some merchandise instead of just,
you
we're
informed us at the
informed of
council.
nothing.
Again, your
You know,
job
I
by
asked.
law, Patty, your job by law
Legislative.
is nothing, no more than legislative only and approving
I'm
the
not
budget.
signing any
It is not
financial
your,
papers that I do not
that's
understand.
obvious, you've never signed anything since you
The
sat
first
here.
3 months I did, because I did not realize what was going on, you wouldn't even discuss it.
Well, I'm down in the building, I'm not on the committee, and I knew about the lawnmower.
Well, ma'am, I'm really happy for you, but
Me
you're not
too.
on council, and
Yes.
it's not his job to inform you.
Yes, Jen.
You either.
Well, let me ask you something.
Hold on.
Bob,
Jenny's got the floor.
Councilwoman Brown, I believe that you're allowed to have copies of things, but the quantity that you've asked for, I would like to know as a citizen what your need for these are and what you are doing with this information.
I am trying to learn how the town is governed. I'm glad you have great confidence in them. And one person is not gonna make that much difference, and I'm paying for my own copies. The only one that ran the bill up is your administrator and your mayor. Please look at the lawsuit and judge for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Don't take their word for it. There's deposition, you can read it.
But what are you doing with that information, that you have so many?
Ma'am, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you whatever. I am trying to study with some people to understand what is happening with our money, but go on, you guys, crucify me and get it over with. And if this is your intent, then that's fine, just vote me out. It's not a big deal. I can ask just the same many questions at the audience as I can up at the table, because it's public information that's not being shared.
Councilwoman Brown, I
What have you done
said,
that
I
has
believe,
affected the village?
I stated that I believe you have the right to see things. I'm asking, what are you
Ma'am.
doing with all of this?
Move on. If you guys don't let us sit here and
Ma'am,
grill
you
you,
are-
Why does she have to move on and you
I'm asking
don't?
you a question.
She don't know.
thanks for answering me, people.
I think it's great to come here as a citizen and not everybody agree. I think that's good.
That's not what you're saying.
It is good.
But I think you should show everyone on the council, everybody up there should show each other respect in speaking and in speaking to your citizens. I came here one night as a citizen. I sat by a gentleman that could not hear real well. I asked you if you could speak up, and your answer to me, ma'am, was, they can either turn the air conditioner off or he can read my lips. Do you speak to citizens like
I've
that?
never said that, no, you're lying right there.
No.
Oh,
Read
no.
my lips, I said to
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
I said the machine is, you can move up, but I can't speak any
Actually,
louder.
it was either read lips or.
Whatever, people, if you're starting the lawsuit,
Rewind
make
the
sure you
tape.
get your depositions taken care of.
There you go.
Hey, Mayor.
Nancy.
My question is it lawful as a council member to sue yourself? I can't, I'm not being funny about it. Is it lawful to sue yourself? Because essentially what she did was sue the council, which is herself.
Your representative, John Adams, he's the one that I went to about getting public records, and he introduced me to the lawyer and helped me make things happen. So, no, I can, because they weren't giving the information I was requesting. So, yes, you can.
So you can sue yourself?
I'm suing the council, not suing me. I don't have copies of these at my house. Yes.
Hey, Mayor,
Yes.
then we went this far. Hattie says she had the head of the bills and stuff, so she knows what she's doing. She's had counsel now almost 4 years. I'd like to know whether she understands it now or not.
I'm actually quite ashamed of myself. No, I don't understand it. We've
And you're
never
running for
talked
another
about our
term.
budget. We've never sat here and discussed how we're using our money, what some of the rents are being paid for. We don't discuss any of that. That's not our business. We're not supposed to take care of that. That's all taken care of for us.
That's absolutely untrue. You state so many misconceptions about things, it's unreal. We are presented with annual budgets and temporary budgets.
And the last one we
The
passed was missing
categories are
3
listed
pages.
out, the amounts are listed, it's explained to us how it's gonna be spent and where.
And the
That's
last-
absolutely untrue.
The last budget we were asked to pass was missing 3 pages that would at least talk. But we are not, as a group, sitting down and going over this and understanding where our money's going and how things are being spent. A simple thing about how much bill is left for the water department. I asked Andy and Jason both, how much money is left on the bill for the water department? And all they will tell me is millions and millions. That's my information. I'm done for the night. I won't answer any more questions. We won't get out of here till tomorrow. I don't just say no. So,
I'm willing to stay.
So are we.
Yep.
then stay here all night, folks. This is what you enjoy.
I
This
I
is
have
how you
spent-
treat people fairly?
I have spent more time in the last 4 years calling county offices and apologizing for this council member's actions, for the way she's acted, that no man or woman on this council should have to do.
But you don't show up at the fire board meeting when you should be.
Ma'am, if I
representing
choose to spend time with my kids, I got a call at
us. Then call
10:30.
somebody else to.
I got the floor. I was called around 10:30 by Andy and Jason
asking if I could attend the meeting.